Welcome to Alchemize Yourself Tarot, where we are shifting our reality through inner transformation. Right now, you don't know where you are going or what you're going to do. You just can't stay stuck anymore. You know there's more out there. Strong Piscean energy here, so there can be a lot of fantasy or a vision of what you want, but it hasn't fully or clearly appeared to you yet. Right, Eight of Swords, that's your challenge, is to know that you do have the power to change your reality, to change your life right now. You know what you believe, so there's this strong sense of purpose. But you're also seeing what you've always believed shifting. You want your power back. You want independence. You want freedom. And you're breaking away from a particular person or an institution that binds you, because this person is benefiting. They are benefiting from you staying stuck. And you just can't unsee this anymore. With the Hanged Man in the reverse and the Judgment card, you can no longer keep empowering somebody by being the victim anymore. There's no going back. The Judgment card is about not going back, but you do have somebody here that doesn't want to let you go. They don't want you to change. They don't want something to end. So whether that's you or another person, somebody here is holding on and somebody here is wanting to let go. And it's going to create an opportunity to self-reflect on this loss. You know, there could be this need to cut your losses in a situation. You know, sometimes loss and struggle create wisdom and understanding, particularly for the person that's going to be forced to transform and let go of a situation. So we're going to break down the emotional truth versus the illusion that's playing out here, because a lot of times we get stuck in situations that aren't really working for us because we fall into a pattern or a belief system. But then we realize that that pattern is actually working against us. And I think that's what true awakening is awakening to where some sort of dynamic has been playing out, and the reality is you're not really happy with it. You feel stuck. There's this need for movement, right? Hanged Man, it's like you're wanting to break free. You're ready to go your own way. Possibly even struggle. Sometimes going your own way means you have to struggle for a little while before you gain your independence or your power back. So I'm going to break down this whole idea or concept a little further, because I think there's a difference between what you think you feel and what you actually feel. Sometimes we can actually fool ourselves into thinking something works when it doesn't. We kind of fall for a fantasy or an illusion about what's actually playing out in a dynamic, especially in relationships. Because most people fall into patterns or codependence within relationships. And this doesn't just have to be romantic. This can be work dynamic too. You get stuck into thinking that there's no other way, that you have to stay in a certain position. So sometimes it's doesn't happen overnight, right? It is a process. It's like, you know, some people pull the whole tower moment, right? They you know, blow the whole thing up as far as, you know, breaking down those internal walls and bondage, right? But then other people, it's like you want to break down the pattern and find solutions to where you actually want to go. So some of you are breaking up with somebody. You're realizing that this person isn't good for you, or you're realizing, you know, this career, this job isn't really good for you. But there's, with that Eight of Cups, there's an emotional attachment. And there's this need to be really radically honest with yourself about not being happy with it anymore. So what have you been thinking that you feel? Yeah, you're definitely grieving. Something's definitely not making you happy. But this is also this not seeing the cups behind you with the Five of Cups. It's like being really overly focused on the disappointment. So when you're in Five of Cups energy, you're usually really struggling to see the light, or how do I put it? You really struggle to see, like, oh, this is a blessing in disguise, right? When things are ending, usually in hindsight, when you look back on it, you're like, wow, it's good that that ended. But sometimes you're not in the position to see that yet. That something ending is actually going to benefit you in some way. But what you are actually feeling here is you're actually, yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. This ending, so something that's feeling really painful right now, is actually going to lead to a victory. It's going to lead to something successful. So you may or may not see this yet. And I've talked to many people where this plays out, where, you know, they're really sad, they have a lot of remorse and regret. They have to go through a grieving process. You know, the Five of Cups is about purging grief, but then realizing, wow, like after all that purging and cleansing and grieving, you feel really good. You start to feel successful again, or you actually come out on top after a breakup or a loss, you know. It's like dodging a bullet. You know, that person rejects you, or that career path doesn't work out, but it actually leads to something more successful. I'm seeing that for a lot of you guys. But it's like you're avoiding that ending. So right now, you're moving through the pain of a painful ending. You're having to navigate through it. And that's okay. You have to accept that something's over. And this can take a long time. It's a process. Depending on what you're going through, it can take days, weeks, months, years. But you're avoiding feeling that pain. You need to feel that pain, right? Because the pain is what gives you that recognition that this is over, it's done, there's no going back to the past. So the pain is good. You need a pain trigger so you don't repeat that lesson. And that's a harsh truth. A lot of people don't want to experience pain because they want to feel, you know, happiness and comfort. But happiness and comfort don't instigate change. What is the emotional state of the other person involved here, or the situation? What is their, you're really sad, you're feeling the pain. Their emotional state is they're feeling trapped and stuck too. They don't know what to do. They may be grasping for control over the situation, because sometimes I see the Eight of Swords too as kind of like thinking that you can control something by overthinking it, but it actually ends up binding you and controlling you and victimizing you in some way. So their emotions, they're all tied up. They may be grasping at how to get control over the situation, but they don't have control. They're actually powerless because this has already ended. The progression has already happened. The 8, the 9, you're at the 10 of Swords. You're done, right? So they may be a little bit behind where you are. They're in the process of trying to control it, overthink it. But the illusion that's happening is that there's control, right? King of Wands in the reverse is someone really operating from their ego. They want to control the situation. This came out in the other spread that we started with. Somebody's trying to control you or control the dynamic. They're in their ego, pride. They like attention. They like glory. They like to come out on top. And it really screws with their head when they're not on top, right? They want to be on top of that horse. They don't want to be at the bottom of it. So there's pride, there's ego, wanting to control something that you can no longer control, wanting to, be victorious. It's like you ending something actually brings victory for you, and they don't like it. They don't like it. So the illusion is that this person had control over you, that they had power over you, that they had dominated you. This could be a boss. This could be anything, right? But this person definitely, new love is coming in. New love, self-love. After a period, the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords, right? There's a progression. It's like you just can't take it anymore. There's an emotional releasing here. There's an overflow. But sometimes you're like rolled up in a ball in the corner for a while before you see this. And the truth is something was unfair. It's time to start over. You're getting your spark back. You're getting your creative power back. Right? Something was not balanced, and it wasn't fair, and it wasn't working for you. Somebody wanted to treat you unfairly or benefit from you in an imbalanced way. And it's like as soon as you cut it off, it's like you gain power. And you've learned an important lesson about setting boundaries for yourself. Many of us don't even, yes, you hear a lot on the internet right now about boundaries and setting, all of this. But it's really a way, a lot of people don't know what they truly want. That's why that 8, that 3 of Wands in the reverse with that 8 of Cups, it's very important for you to start figuring out what you really want in this new beginning. Because you've walked away. You're walking towards a more happy, fulfilling life for yourself. But there is going to be a period where you need to build strength here and resilience, because some of you probably still feel a little weak, a little wobbly, right? That 5 of Cups, you're still tender. Those wounds still have not healed yet. So you need to give yourself some time to heal from this, because this could have been a power dynamic that's been playing out for a while. But if nothing changes, right, if you don't change, you're going to keep giving your power away. You're going to keep, you're going to keep repeating out a karmic cycle with somebody. It's going to put you in a very restless, frazzled, needy, codependent energy with somebody, and you're not going to feel empowered. You're not going to feel strong. if you go back, you know, you're going to stay stuck in that pattern. You know, you're going to keep feeding somebody else's ego and it's going to cost you your confidence, your beauty, your power, your creativity. And that's why starting these readings, I've been really big on wanting to empower people, to break patterns, to avoid fantasy loops. We're trying to break those fantasy loops because at the end of the day, you can love somebody all day long, but if they're making you miserable, if they're stunting your growth, it's not about power and control over people from a narcissistic point of view. It's about healthy self-love. Yeah, I just looked on the bottom of the deck, devil in reverse. It's about getting out of bondage. Yeah, and, you know, fantasy, you know, the Page of Cups is somebody that's not growing emotionally, caught in a fantasy loop that's not healthy. It's addictive. You know, it's good to channel your fantasies and your dreams and hopes into your creations and what you want to build, how you want to envision your life. But when it's creating bondage, it's toxic. You're enabling somebody, right? You're feeding your energy, your power, your life force, possibly going back and forth. Maybe both of you are exchanging life force, but it's not creating anything. So some of you are here, you're ready to, totally cut that chain, break that cord, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, and that energy has to go somewhere, right? So you're going to have to find a way to ignite your spark again with that Ace of Wands. You're being given an opportunity because something is not fair. It's an imbalance. And like I said, sometimes with karmic energy, you're up and down. It's kind of like a roller coaster between the two of you. And you're realizing how much you've been feeding into that fantasy loop or that chain. It's like you'll get those highs where you get your energy fed. But it's short-lived, right? That's how addictions work. It's a dopamine hit. It's an addiction. Yeah, the devil's domain. There you go. Spirit's confirming that. Obsession, addictions, poor habits, and codependency. It's devil energy. That relationship where you both are just giving your power away and you feel stuck, your person's feeling stuck too because they can't control the situation and neither can you. They're addicted to it. It's not healthy because it's not growing. You're just getting those rush, those hits of excitement, but you're not actually feeling good, right? You keep going back. And each time you go back, it gets more and more painful. That's when it's like you have to hit rock bottom in a relationship before you wake up. That's that Judgment card, right? The awakening. Trick or treat, playing games. Somebody's not serious. They're unsure of their intentions. It's not going anywhere, right? You walk away and then you hit a dead end. And then you just loop back around to this person. Or they loop back around to you. And it's devil energy. You're just playing out a game. There's no intention. They're not serious. Or maybe you're not even serious anymore. You don't even know where this is going anymore. That's when you start to wake up, guys. And that's, you know, tarot readings. Oh, they're coming back. They're obsessed with you. Those are usually toxic connections. Obsession. Obsession is not good. It's not healthy. You know, excitement and inspiration are good energy. Inspiration is a good energy. Obsession is not. You know, that'll kill your creative energy. Neither one of Queen and King of Wands, neither one of you are feeling passionate or creative or inspired at all. You're just leaking energy with that Strength card in the reverse. And the clock is slow. Slow progress will take a while, not the right time. It's slow. This has probably gone on for a long time, and that's the truth. The all-seeing eye, that's the truth. Hangman in the reverse, you're shifting your perspective because this is a burden. You're carrying old baggage, clinging to an unhealthy relationship, right? It's not fair. It's not balanced. It's not getting either of you anywhere. It's time to ground yourself, right? Nature, take a breather. You know, start healing. Do the crying. Break the pattern. Let it go. You're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better. I'm gonna get a compassion message over here because I do think you guys need a little love. You need some love. You need some encouragement. That's what's going to help you to heal. That's what I want for you guys. I've been here. I've been here and I've been stuck. This is not fun. This is dark. You may feel like you're having a dark night of the soul, but it's gonna be, you're gonna have to move through that pain. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna get to the other side of it. Trust me. Take care of you. Be kind and loving to yourself. Your relationships will benefit. When you are kind and loving to yourself, your relationships are going to be a lot healthier. Some of you have been really ignoring how much pain you've been experiencing. And sometimes spirituality and tarot reinforces or enables it. Partnering, strength and support for one another. Two heads are better than one. Yeah, you want a healthy partnership. You want strength. You want a partnership that supports you, not something that's tearing you down, right? The only way you want support. You don't want games or people that are just. The thing is sometimes like in narcissistic patterns, you'll be supply for somebody, but they can't even get there anymore as far as supply. It's never enough, right? When you're in your ego or your pride, it's never enough, right? Devil energy, it's never going to be enough. It's like an addiction. Family interference. Develop healthy boundaries with family members who have crossed a line. It is acceptable to keep things to yourself. There could have been a lot of family interference in something. And sometimes family members benefit from you staying stuck, or their family is getting off on the drama. They're feeding on the drama, and it's like creating all this energetic leakage. It's energy vampire. dynamic, right? They're feeding, but nobody's really getting nourished. Or that's the problem with an addiction. You're not nourished. You're not really being fed from it, but they're feeding off of it. It makes them feel good. It makes them look good for you to be living out this drama. That's for some of you. Loyalty, fidelity, and dedication is needed to heal. Yeah, maybe there's been so much issue with loyalty, but I feel like this is what you're waking up to. Is this a partner? Are they loyal? Some of you are going to have to, like, if you were to heal a connection, you're going to have to completely get everybody else out of it. That would be the only way to heal, right? Get to the heart of the matter to confront or dismiss it, right? Getting to the heart of the matter, your suspicion, mistrust, yeah. So, yeah, I really am sending a lot of love to you guys who are going through this, because it seems messy, but the one light at the end of the tunnel, what I love about the Ten of Swords is that light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, at the end of all of this. Take some time to rest and rejuvenate. You need to pace yourself with the changes that are coming your way. They are all positive, bigger and better things are coming for you. Just relax. Relax and trust. You are not moving too slowly. Yeah, maybe take your time. Don't feel like you have to go through this quickly. It takes time to heal, right? It takes time to grieve a loss. Drop the self-induced pressure. You are at that sweet spot between taking care of yourself and making advancement on your goals. Where was that? That self-care one. Be loving and kind to yourself, right? On this path, there's no such thing as being behind. Smile, breathe, and carry on. Yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Be easy on yourself. Cry, purge, go through that dark night of the soul. There's a light at the end of that. I love you guys. I really hope for the best. I hope this reaches the people that need to hear it. I'm here with you. I want to do readings where we can really work through this, stuff like this. Bye.